did not videotape my morning workout because I worked out a bunch in the greenhouse, which I'm sure I should film someday, but meh. So, fun night at Kroger. It really was actually quite a fun night at Kroger. One of the most fun I've had in quite a while. Just normal. I worked at the close of service desk, normal service desky stuff. Nothing too crazy, Bill. It was actually kind of a light night. There wasn't a lot of people here, but it is Sunday night, so that's kind of typical in our little tiny town. I don't think of anything, nothing fun or exciting, like nothing crazy happened. It was kind of neat that, so my parents owned a vending business since I was little. My dad worked in vending when I was, I'm going to guess it started when I was in junior high. And then I remember that up into high school, I think I was an FFA either as I'm trying to think of a junior or as a senior, one of those two. And it was probably as a senior. Anyway, and then what I did for one of our projects is I helped to build the commissary, the little kitchen, the commercial kitchen that we had built in our parents' garage. And we would make sandwiches in it for our vending business once we bought the vending business. I say we, my family, my parents. Once they bought the vending business, we have a really good family friend who's really good at starting businesses. He just is. And he had started a business that had vending. So you would go around to the different stores and businesses that would have one of your vending machines in it, and you would fill it up. So my dad worked there. I'm not sure if he did maintenance first or if he worked, I think he must have done maintenance first. But there was three separate routes. So there was three gentlemen that kind of ran each one. I know he did maintenance on vending machines. He was very good about figuring out what was wrong with them and fixing them. Eventually, the gentleman sold his business because that's what he does. He starts them, he builds them up, he sells them. He eventually sold the business, and he sold each route went to the man who ran it. So my dad got the one that was kind of, I'm gonna say our district, our area, had several factories, several small businesses. We did coffee, all of it, candy bars, pop. So when the gentleman owned it, he had 3 routes. He had a woman, Miss Velma, who would make sandwiches for everybody. Sandwiches, and they would pack it up, and each route, got so many. When we split off, she still made sandwiches with us for a little bit, or for us for a little bit, because that is how it kind of started, was gradually moving over until it was ours. So, sorry, there's blue flashing lights everywhere, and I want to make sure that I'm not getting run over by a police officer, because that just doesn't sound like fun to me today. Eventually, we started, actually my mom and I would go out to the place, and we made sandwiches out there for a little while until we could get our own kitchen built. It's not cheap and it's not easy. And then we eventually built a little kitchen inside our garage, and I helped to build it, helped to design it maybe a little bit, and by doing that, I got a grant, an FFA grant. I think it was $300 to help with that. That was like the project that they chose for the year. It was kind of cool. So for years, for decades, I have been in kind of the vending-ish business. So, and I don't, that's not what I mean. I have been in different businesses that deal with food and stocking food and watching dates and And my dad was meticulous about, there is not going to be milk in the vending machine. Nobody wants a carton of milk that goes out of date yesterday. I am very particular about my dates. Now, do I drink milk that's a day out of date? Well, yeah. Do I eat sandwiches that are out of date? Of course. Do I eat candy bars that are out of date? Yeah, they're candy bars. It's chocolate. It's good for you. Anyway, all kinds of stuff like that. I am not particular. I don't think that the date says that it goes out of date today and it's magically gonna, it turns sour and it's gonna make us all die. That's not how dates work. It says best by for a reason. They will guarantee its freshness until the date on the sticker. But that doesn't mean you can't eat it after that. So today I am dates catch my eye, and I'm really ticked off when things are on a shelf when they're out of date and they're not being marked down. Here's part of the reason why. If you catch something, especially at a place like Kroger, if you know, hey, it goes out of date tomorrow, the next day, within a couple days, you can mark it down. You can still at least not lose money on that item. Okay? You let it go out of date, you lose money on that item because it's got to be scanned out. And for the love of Pete, the amount of money that I pulled off the shelf that was lost stock today kind of ticks me off from a business standpoint, because that's a lot of money. So a gentleman came up and he wanted to buy a carton of cigarettes. I did not have the kind that he wanted, but I pulled 10 packs off the shelf. He was happy. Then he wanted 3 cans of, I don't know, something, Copenhagen, I don't know. We're just guessing here. And he wanted 4 cans. I only had 3. And he's like, that's fine. So I ring him up. He says, I want to make sure these are the right ones. I said, okay. Because I know zero about cigarettes, except that Marlboros are red and Camels are gold. And now they have 10 different colors of all of them anyway. So that doesn't help me. He takes, granted, his wife is physically paying for them. He takes one, picks it up, flips it over, and he's like, oh no, those are out of date. I'm like, seriously? So I look at them. Yep, sure enough, the last 3 I had were all out of date. So I called the fuel center and I asked them if they had that kind. Sure enough. And so I wanted to make sure that theirs were in date. So I had him check. Sure enough. And they actually had, he kept asking me, but I need 4. And I said, okay. So I asked them if they had 4. So then again, businessy, my mind is trying to figure out how do I exchange them all so that, you know what I mean? So that the inventory, because they came out, he already paid for them, they came out of my inventory, and I need them to go in, anyway. So, we finally got it figured out. I was going to give him the out-of-date ones, and then he was going to go take those over there and exchange them, and then they would at least have the right amount. Got it all taken care of, and he kept asking for more, and I said, yep, they've got extras. You can go grab another one when you're over there. Done and winning. So what did my mission in life tonight become? I'm going to look through every single can of tobacco that's in here, and I will get all of the ones that are out of date. So at Kroger, they have these little black baskets. I'm going to say they're probably 18 inches long by 12 inches wide, 12 inches deep, roundabout guess, maybe only 8 inches deep, I don't know. And I brought one in, and I put a cart in there, and I set it in a cart, and I just kept putting stuff in it. I filled that entire thing full. At an average of $3 to $4 a piece. Some of them are $5, some of them are $3. Most of them are closer to the $5. I bet there was probably $500 worth of crap in there. That, to me, that's disgusting to me. there are now many spaces that are empty because I pulled all the product off the shelf. So, went and did that. About half of them have dates on them, the other half are in code. So I had to, I looked up the code. Don't tell my manager, because she was just so excited. She thought that I just knew what the code was. And I was like, no, I Googled the code. Anyway, pulled all those off the shelf. I had stuff on the shelf that had been made in 2022. It's only supposed to be on the shelf for 6 months. So 6 months from the date it was made. So I pulled anything, this is June 6/9, so it's June 9th. I pulled anything off the shelf that was made in 2023. And there's still a bunch of stuff on the shelf that was made in January, so in 2 weeks that'll be out. Then, since it just gets me all excited to pull all the outdated stuff off the shelf, I went and I started checking out all the candy bars. And I had remembered some stuff had gotten close to dates, but a lot of the candy bars are only dated month and year. And so we can sell them, we can actually mark them down about 2 weeks. So like mid-June is now, I have marked all 7s down. I was excited about that. Miss Bray told me I could do that. So normally what I do is I normally just put them in a box and let somebody else deal with them. And so finally I was talking to the managers tonight and I said, you know, I could save you guys a lot of time if you would just teach me how to do markdowns, like give me the power. And she's like, oh yeah, I will definitely teach you how to do that. I'm like, okay. So I got a printer and she told me how to do markdowns, and oh, did I go to town. I had an entire one of those black baskets full of chocolate that was out of date, so I can't sell it. I had an entire small cart full of let's see, I had an entire basket that was still in date that I could mark down. I had an entire small cart full of stuff from the bakery that I marked down because, of course, what did I do? I'm like, yeah, I'm still going. So I went until I ran out of labels in the printer. That's how much crap I marked down today. And none of that, zero of that is my job / responsibility. Boy, did I have fun doing it, let me tell you. But all of the stuff in the bakery should have been done by the bakery before bakery people left. All of the candy should be being checked by the merchandise manager. At least now I don't have to bother one of the managers to do it, because what I had to do before was I had to pull all the stuff off the shelf, give it to one of the managers, and let them do it. And the night manager, he's awesome. But the last time, I'm not even kidding, by the time he found a printer, got it to pair with his thing, and printed all of the stuff, it had to be 30 minutes that he didn't really need to be spent. He's got other jobs that he's got to do. So yeah, that's what I did tonight. I got the power. It was awesome. Had a lot of fun. Chased after one of the other girls that works there. She said, don't babysitters get paid more than we do? And I said, yes, we as babysitters should get paid more. Nobody really thought that was as funny as I did.